Alrighty, so it's been a while since I've uploaded a video on this channel, but I've just been so busy with the main channel and messing around with some of the stuff that I've just been, playing in the meantime, that I just kind of have put making videos on it on the back burner, kind of. So we're watching, or well, in the background is the 2018 God of War reboot trailer, because it recently came out on the PC as a port. I feel like is it really quiet? I think it is. We'll turn it up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't overpower me. But yeah, it came out on PC on Steam, and I was super happy about it because it was one of the few games that I was really hoping would eventually get ported over, or that I actually wanted to have a PlayStation for. And I remember it came out originally when I had a PlayStation at some point, because I've had like 3 of them throughout the PlayStation 4's lifespan, and I end up playing them for a little while. I always come back to the PC, it sits for a while, I sell it, rinse and repeat. So I did buy this game when it originally first came out, and I played through, I would say, maybe like 10-15% of it, and it was really good. I really did like it a lot, but I ended up just getting to a point to where I just didn't want to play my PlayStation. And when it finally came out on Steam, I was like, yes, finally I can actually play through this game. I've always really liked the concept of God of War, and I remember playing maybe one of them on the PlayStation 2 originally, like when the old God of War games were out. I don't think I ever owned them, but I would go to like a friend's house and I would play them, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. So whenever they rebooted it, I was like, oh, this might be a really good chance for me to get into the games and play them a little bit. And they've already announced the second one. I don't know how fast it will get ported over, but I'm gonna be really sad when it comes out and all of the PlayStation people are playing it, and I'm just over here on PC waiting for my turn to play. But man, this game was so good. I know that this game already has glowing reviews, and you probably don't need me to tell you that this game is good because it's been out for a while, but wow, as someone who kind of just missed it, I played through the very beginning of it, and I didn't see anyone play it. I just always heard people say oh, God of War, the new God of War is sick, new God of War is super good. After playing through the entire thing, I basically did everything that I could except for I think there's an extra, one of the extra realms that you go to, that you just kind of unlock through just doing optional stuff. It's almost like an arena sort of deal where you just beat different levels of the arena and you make your way up. I think there was something else that I could have done there after I made my way all the way to the top of it, but I just never went back and did it because I was busy doing the rest of the campaign, and some of the other stuff. So the reason why I'm showing you the trailer instead of gameplay, by the way, is because I don't want to spoil anything. This game is fantastic. I literally cannot stress it enough how good this game is. I don't want to spoil anything, and just by me playing the game, the different kinds of armors that you can build and unlock and use, and just Kratos himself, not him physically, but his what he wears on his belt. You unlock different sorts of tools and things throughout the game that he sort of just puts on his belt to kind of show your progression almost, and I don't want to give any of that away. So just talking about it without any spoilers, well, I guess I've already spoiled that there's an arena, but there's an arena. Sorry. Without going into any sort of actual spoilers, the game is just so good. I never really got super into any sort of Greek mythology or anything like that, and I know that the original games are set in Greek mythology, but this one sort of transfers over into Norse mythology, and they just did such a good job with making it fun and interesting. And I've never played a game before that dealt with actual real life stuff to where I was oh my god, I need to know more about this kind of stuff. So it was super fun finishing the game and just picking up on certain clues and this and that, and some of the gods that they talk about in this game, and just wanting to actually deep dive further into that kind of stuff after I was done with it. So I've actually been looking up quite a bit of Norse mythology, and just cool things that happened in it, or just like looking over characters and stuff. And surprisingly, there's a pretty decent amount of like content on YouTube and stuff like that, where you can, you know, people research it and talk about it and stuff like that. And it's really cool too, because they did a really good job, because from what I can gather about Norse mythology is like, obviously like a lot of the like stories and stuff like that were written a really long time ago, and the appearances of different characters and stuff like that are left very vague. Like they give like maybe, you know, some small minor details on what characters look like, which is good, because in a game like this they can sort of pick that up and take elements from it and sort of give their own interpretation of it and make it their own thing. So like one of the people that I was watching on YouTube, I can't remember what his name was, but he was comparing the fact that like he was looking at the original, like, you know, content that, you know, the Norse mythology is like based on, and like he was comparing that to the God of War and showing some of the characters in this game and how they interpreted it, and then just looking at like I think he looked at Marvel, because Marvel has Thor. Thor is a Norse god, which he's not in this game, but like just comparing the two and seeing how different they are, and just like knowing that it's because like it's so vague. Like it's really cool that they can sort of just take those story elements and make it their own. But yeah, progression of the game super solid. There's like some cliche spots here and there, because obviously it's Kratos with a kid stuff is, I don't know, he gets a little angsty at times, which is kind of expected, I guess. It's a little cliche in my opinion. That was probably the worst part of the game, but even then it was still enjoyable. So I don't know, it just honestly, I I can't say like I can't stop saying how good it is, because it really is like just, it was a lot of fun. Combat was fun and interesting. There's a lot of different skills and stuff like that, so you can actually sort of not necessarily make your own like build. Well, I guess you could technically make your own builds, but like there's a couple of different ways that you can sort of like change the way you play, so you can have your own sort of play style. But obviously like the weapons and stuff that you use in the game are the same for everybody, but yeah, the skills and stuff like that that you attach to those weapons can be, you know, utilized and changed out and stuff like that, which are really cool. So graphics on the game were phenomenal, honestly. I mean, this game came out in 2018, and I mean 2018 wasn't that long ago, so I mean it's like what, four years ago at this point. So I mean, graphics have improved, sure, but just the visuals and stuff like that in this game, A+, very phenomenal. So I don't know, I don't want to just keep being like, oh my god, it's so good, you gotta play it, man, it's so good, oh my god, it's so good, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I just kind of have to say, this game good, buy this game. It was even, I love that, you know, when they port games over on Steam as well, because when they port PlayStation games over, Sony Studios or whoever the publisher for it is, they actually make it $10 cheaper, I guess. I don't know if that's because you're not buying the physical copy of the game, or because it's technically older, because they did the same thing with Days Gone, because I bought it when it originally came out and it was really good too, and it got ported over from Santa Monica Studios. I think it was Santa Monica Studios. Maybe it wasn't, I can't remember. But Horizon Zero Dawn was also $10 off when it very first came out, which I didn't buy that one straight away. I think I ended up waiting for that one to go on sale for like $30 or something like that. But even then, like all of these games, it had been so long since I'd played like a good AAA like title before Horizon Zero Dawn, and playing that one and then moving into this one was just like it was so good. Playing indie games can only get you so far. Like, these games have so much polish to them. There's no real bugs or anything like that. Like, you can still run into a bug and stuff like that here and there, but man, like, this game just is chock full of stuff. You think it's going to end right around the corner, and it just kind of keeps going for a little while, and even then the ending is kind of vague, so like it leaves you, you know, wanting more, and it's it's really, really cool. So that's really all I have to say. I don't know, I'll keep it at that. Obviously you can see the visuals and some of the stuff in the background as I've been, you know, talking about it. But if you haven't already, or you're at the least bit interested in the game, even if you're not a super big fan of God of War, like, it's awesome. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you later.